there, welcome to my channel. I'm Abby, and I do not currently have an Instagram. I'm not completely sure how to start this, and I'm also not totally sure why I'm doing this, but I've sort of wanted to do it for a few years, so here I am doing. So I graduated from college in 2020 with an economics degree, right into the, the pandemic. Basically means I just watched my little profile go by in the virtual slideshow that was my graduation as my roommate and I sat on the couch in our pajamas. It was exciting. And when it was over, we both kind of like laughed, and there was this vibe of like, okay, what do now? Right off the bat, I know that being an econ major makes me sound like I'm all about that cash money. That honestly might have been the case if I feel like my undergraduate studies were useful for what I actually wanted to do with my life. You know, it was already the case that people my age were having trouble finding jobs in their fields, and on top of that, the whole world kind of, stopped. I was sort of lucky in the beginning. I got a job doing some office work at a dispensary, but after a few months of that, and then a few more months in the service industry, I realized I had not at all been doing what I wanted to do. And I started my freshman year of college in 2016 when Trump was elected, and ended it during the race in 2020. And it was, it was super weird. It was really weird. But being an econ major who didn't really believe in the global economic system was a little bit even more disillusioning, especially when people asked me what I wanted to do with my life. On top of that, I mean, being inside 100% of the time and like just cut off from family and friends and everything was really isolating. And like pretty much everyone else I knew, I went through, some tough times. But at the same time, being stuck inside sort of helped me become more comfortable with myself, if that makes sense. I started actually, cleaning and decorating the space I was living in pretty much weekly, kind of forcing myself to make a schedule of cleaning at least once a week. And when that started to kind of surprisingly become easier to do, I found myself really enjoying taking 10 minutes to wash the dishes. I started going through my old stuff that was just kind of laying around the house and reusing it for other purposes, which not only filled my time, but made me feel kind of good to work on. For example, this board was actually one of the first things I crafted during the quarantine. I realized that the mere process of doing this worked wonders for my mental health. And while being away from social events was hard to adjust to, it also allowed me to think more about myself and what I wanted out of life and relationships and, my place in the world. I mean, not knowing when quarantine was gonna end was terrifying, because I didn't really want to stay inside forever, obviously. And life would, return to normal soon, whatever that meant. And as I'm contemplating all of this and being a freshly graduated gal, about 4 months ago, a friend convinced me to download TikTok, which took some time since part of the whole, working on myself thing involved kind of weaning myself off of social media. I deleted Snapchat and Twitter and eventually Instagram because I realized that nothing I was really seeing on there was giving me any happiness or making me feel good at all. I feel like Instagram used to be a place where you posted pictures of your friends or your dinner, and all your other friends would just comment oh cool, comment a little inside joke or something. But now it's just this giant online shopping site that's just constantly trying to sell you stuff with all these influencers and ads and just stuff designed to make you feel bad for not looking or being a certain way. And I'm 22 now, apparently only 2 years younger than the Paul twins, which I'm not sure how that makes me feel. I remember downloading all of these social media apps right when I got my first iPhone, which was when I was 13. Very exciting, back in the days of I'd Cap That, which I only recently learned was Codico, Viner, among many other talents, and one of my inspirations. Being a younger kid in the early days of social media is something that no other generation ever experienced up until that point. And obviously we didn't really realize what we'd be in for a few years down the line. And I think one of the most important steps in terms of growing up on the internet was Tumblr, which I got when I was 14 and ended up with around maybe 2,000 followers or something like that. And I don't want this to be a whole tangent / rant about Tumblr in my introduction video, because I kind of want to make a whole video on this. But the similarities between Tumblr circa 2015 and TikTok are maddeningly high. There's a lot, and it's scary. But now Tumblr's much like the, sour old war veteran. It's this weird, safe, weird haven for humor that you literally won't find anywhere else on the internet. And I think some of it captures a certain sense of relatability that no other social media medium has the capacity for anymore, since everything is just a store or like a business now. Tumblr also never figured out how to market ads to its users, especially after they deleted all the sexy stuff a few years ago. So now you just get ads like these, which honestly make me feel some emotion more than any other ad on any other platform has. This one's for, the 60 plus demographic on Tumblr. I'd buy it. And I mean, so much content on TikTok is just stolen straight from Tumblr, as well as opinions and personalities, really. I'm not trying to get all, we live in a society in my very first video, but I want to be frank. My heart just breaks whenever I see like a TikTok of a kid crying or someone getting bullied because of their new haircut. And a part of that is because I can see my younger self in those interactions, posting like the same sad content on Tumblr and getting the same, but asterisk anonymous hate. And as someone who feels like maybe they've made it out of the horrifying cringe fest of a woods that is, growing up in a completely online world, I want to maybe do my part to help break this very terrible cycle of being young and just having the internet convince you there's inherently something wrong with you. We live in this very messed up, weird internet era where people like to hate things way more than we like to like them. Cancel culture, social media culture, all these cultures have us persuaded that the content we produce and share is a solidified form of self-expression. In other words, whatever you do online, however you do it, reflects you not as a person, but just a consumer. And there's nothing we love to do more than watch the numbers go up, she says defiantly, posting an introduction video to YouTube. And I feel like I can outline like two main problems with this modern online culture that are pretty clear, pretty backed up with examples. One, much of it exists just to separate people into these very neat little boxes of like good and bad, which people don't really fit into, no matter how much we want them to. And this is something which, seems so simple, like duh, yeah, obviously we know this. Yet we seem to be brainwashed into forgetting it every time we open any social media app. And, two, like how do I even put this? I almost feel like when I was younger, I was just hoodwinked into needing to have and give my opinion, which so often was not even my own and just another thing I read on the internet. And I don't know, reacting to it immediately and not really forming my own thoughts or like doing my own research about thing. There was this pervasive need, right, to force the thing into a perspective which satisfies you as the user and your own, your little echo chamber, your little box. And it never feels necessary to engage with the other side of the story. I never felt the need to engage with the other side of the argument, to even read it a lot. And once you feel that feeling and you're done, you move on to the next post. You kind of feel that instant gratification meter go straight down, and it just happens over and over and over again. I never just kind of allowed myself to just experience someone's art or literature or music online. Just take it in as opposed to needing to react to it, because that's not content worthy. That's not popular. That's not trending. I need my hot take and I need it now. Then, now. Especially as a promising young woman on the internet, which again is a whole nother video series. I just feel as though I was very misguided. And on TikTok, I just feel like it's all happening over and over again. I believe that the way we engage with, media, up to and including our online environments, right, can be positive and, good if we learn how to use social media like the right way. And we, like the younger generations, like Gen Z, millennials, whatever, we have the power, guys. I mean, we know how to use the internet because we grew up on it. We definitely know it better than our parents do. But we're at this very odd point in which the generation which did kickstart civil rights in the US, the boomers, have now become the establishment, and somehow they've managed to divide us younger generations the same way their parents did in the 60s, using a medium that didn't even exist when they were our age, no less. I know that we know we're way better than this, right? I think that if we, Gen Zers and millennials, if we kind of work together rather than apart, we might actually be able to strive for a better future, which is a statement that feels it's such a big scary thing to think about, you know, the future or whatever, especially right now. Because I can tell you, I studied economics and climate change, and there's just no other smart argument for the degradation of the environment but the hell that is late stage capitalism. And it's not even that simple. And what am I saying? When this economic system collapses, we're the ones who are gonna have to deal with the fallout. I know, I'm definitely not the first one to talk about this or bring this up, and I will not be the last, but this is the type of stuff I would love to talk about on here, as well as, continuing those little book videos. I really enjoy doing commentary, so we're just gonna give it the old college try here. Just want to say, if anyone is here from my TikTok, you fall into one of the categories that I mentioned, all I really want you to take away from me as a person, as a concept, as, even if you just watch this one video and decide you hate me, form your own opinions. And yes, I do realize the irony of posting a YouTube video and being like, don't listen to people on the internet. Take in content, but form your own opinions on it. Please, getting bad, guys. I don't know if you've noticed. If there's any advice that I have from my perspective, it's to read the thing. Don't rely on sources, that are just so often, they're just made up. People just make them up. And I want to end this first video with a short audio clip from one of my favorite documentaries that I've seen in the past year. It's called Where to Invade Next by Michael Moore. Towards the end of the documentary, Moore visits Tunisia and talks to this reporter and asks her what she would say to Americans if they were listening. And I think this parallels pretty nicely with the message I'm trying to convey here on, obviously a much larger level. Thank you so much for watching this introduction video. Just quickly, once again, I am Abby, and I am not tall. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe, or don't. I'm trying to, practice what I preach here. I hope this video made a little bit of sense. I sort of hope it was kind of vague, too, to leave room for, future me. Oh, hey, thanks. Thanks, past me. Yeah, you're welcome. Maybe in the future I'll get better at editing, too. Bye.